The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
A lot to get to this hour. 800-848-9222. Dominic Carter here with you. The pressure continues to build, continues to grow against Mamdani, and something has to give.
Mamdani! Remove Mamdani! Remove Mamdani! Remove Mamdani! Remove Mamdani!
A chant of remove Mamdani at the big protest today by the group End Jew Hate. 800-848-9222. More and more 9/11 families have voted they want Mamdani to stay away from the big 9/11 25th commemoration coming up in just a matter of 2 months. Former New York City Mayor Eric Adams speaking out against Mamdani, but also more violence on Mamdani's watch. The innocent 12-year-old son of a retired NYPD sergeant shot dead in the Bronx, a 12-year-old kid, as heartbreaking video show him collapsing in a bodega after running back while clutching his chest. And also what we'll deal with this hour, Friday night, the rescheduled White House Correspondents Dinner was held. The president kept his word, showing up, speaking. Did a good job, though there were plenty of haters in the media. They just seem to not be feeling the president of the United States. So we have a lot to get to this hour, and we want to hear from you. I will be with you folks until 1 a.m. this morning, as I am every Sunday. Let's start with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. This all started when Mamdani got on his soapbox and said that he was going to try and arrest Netanyahu. Netanyahu appearing today on Fox News.
He's fomenting hate. He's supposed to be the mayor of all New Yorkers, Jews, Christians, Muslims, everyone. But he's trying to turn one group against the other, and he's foisting hate and fear. I speak to Jewish Americans in New York, and they're afraid right now. And I don't think it's accidental that after he made this hate speech against Israel and against me, the next day, a Jew is stabbed coming out of a synagogue. I think, and with a cry of Allah is Akbar, Allah Akbar. And you know what that means. So I think that it's shameful. This thing is very bad for New York. I think it's very bad for peace. But the answer to your question, I intend to come and speak the truth, speak for Israel and for the Israeli-American alliance from the podium of the United Nations.
Mr. Netanyahu, the prime minister, making clear that he intends to be here for the General Assembly session at the United Nations. And, of course, we all know Mamdani came forth with another video and admitted that he did not have the authority to arrest, as we all knew, Mr. Netanyahu. I said last week, and I stand by it, the honorable thing to do at this point would be for Mamdani to resign, or for Governor Hochul to remove him from office. Neither will happen. He will never resign. And Hochul, caught up in her re-election battle, would never, ever, ever remove Mamdani from office, because it would mean her election bid would go down the drain. But I say, Governor, be very careful who you're dancing with, because you're dealing with Mamdani now, you're stuck with Mamdani later. Netanyahu on Fox News continuing.
Mamdani is supporting his wife, his family. He celebrated October 7th massacre, the worst massacre against Jews since the Holocaust. He's basically supporting, he tries to say that he doesn't, but he's supporting the Hamas murderers who raped our women, then beheaded them, burnt babies alive, slaughtered our men, took innocent people hostages, 251 men, women, children, babies. That's who he's supporting. And they're the ones who are responsible for genocide. They would have killed, as their charter says, and as they themselves proclaimed, they would have killed every single Jew in Israel and every Jew in the world. So the genocide charge belongs to our enemies. What we're doing is try to fight this genocidal terrorist organization that embeds itself among civilians, prevents us from moving the civilians out of harm's way. They use gunpoint. That's where the real criminals are. But Mamdani is aligning himself with the criminals, with these murderers. But the worst thing is that he's tormenting his own citizens, his own voters. No, that is wrong. And I've been to New York so many times, Maria, over the years. I've met all the New York mayors. They all saw themselves as mayors of all New Yorkers, not pitting one part of the population against the other.
And that's the bottom line. A bit later, Mamdani was asked at a parade where he was also heckled at one point for his reaction to all of this. You will hear that coming up. We'll get to the protest that was held today by the group End Jew Hate. They've protested Mamdani successfully a couple of times, and we'll get to that in just a second, the protest. And remember, you had Jewish leaders after the Asian man was attacked, after the Jewish American man was attacked. You had Jewish leaders that came forth. It was about, 50 to 60, maybe 80 of them, denouncing Mamdani, accusing him of fanning the flames of hate and division. And that's where the week was left off. But a lot is going on. As I mentioned, we'll get to that Bronx shooting, the son of a 12-year-old son of a retired NYPD sergeant, innocent bystander hit with a stray bullet. Also President Trump before the White House Correspondents Dinner. Before we get to some of the comments that were made at the protest earlier today, let's get in a few phone calls. 800-848-9222. Al in Yonkers, line 2. Al, what's on your mind?
Hey, Dominic, thanks for taking my call. I just want to say with Mamdani, he's not going to resign, as you know, of course. I mean, you're a political expert. The bottom line is, that would go against everything he is. That would go against his place in history. The situation with getting rid of Mamdani, he won't resign. Like I said, the only way you could get rid of him, I think, with the New York City rules of municipality would be to recall him. As you know, it's terribly difficult.
You can't do it. You can't do it.
Okay, Oh, you can. Okay, I know in like Gray Davis they got rid of, but it's different on the state level. The only way you can do it is Governor Hochul would have to remove him from office. There is no recall mechanism for the mayor of New York City. Okay, I didn't think so. Thanks a lot, Dominic. Thank you, Al. Against my better judgment, let me go to E. Frank, line 1 in Astoria. What's on your mind?
Yes, Dominic, it's your better judgment, and I would just say that I'm not going to disappoint you. I said against my better judgment, but go ahead. Okay, well, let me tell you Mamdani, which I'm not too supportive of, only because he claims to be an Islamic person who believes in his faith, just like I believe in my faith. He's spoken very clearly that he will not go against his faith or any of the will of the people who voted for him. And he has a strong stance on Israel. Now, I believe in the Jewish state. I believe that Jews have the right to exist and coexist with everyone. But I believe that if Mamdani feels that he has a reason why he's you've said it quite clearly, that he supports all these terroristic individuals that have hurt so many people in our world. But how about us? How about me? I'm Roman Catholic. I've had to live with 3 popes since St. John Paul I, who have supported many things and heinous acts that have destroyed the integrity of the fabric of our world. And I have no say of what the Pope and the Vatican decides. So how about Mamdani? If he feels that way, what do you think, Dominic? Do you think he has the right to continue saying and spewing these things?
Absolutely not. The Pope is put into the position by the group of cardinals. They all go to Rome, as you know. This is a different situation. This is someone that is elected by the people. And I seriously doubt, thank you for the call, E. Frank. Well, you know what? I'll give you your, well, he's already gone. I was going to give him his last say. But, and I seriously doubt, I really do, whether or not this guy, well, he was elected, and I don't want to get into a diversion of any other candidates tonight. I really don't want to do that. I'm simply going to tell you, in a one-on-one race, he would have lost. We would not be going through this. A third-party candidate, Andrew Cuomo, would be the mayor of New York City right now. And you may love Cuomo, you may hate Cuomo, but we would not be dealing with this mess right now. Now, Cuomo might have won by the skin of his teeth, but I guarantee you that he would have won, because the momentum was starting to swing his side, but he ran out of time, and it was 2 against 1 that divided the vote. Thus, Mamdani became the mayor of New York. 800-848-9222 on this Sunday night. I want you to listen to some of the speakers from today's protest against Mamdani, members of the Jewish community. I'm not talking about those nuts that are out there supporting him, that probably the Mamdani team is paying them to be there. I'm talking about grassroots Jewish community of New York. This is one of the speakers from the protest. Her name Lizzie Savesky. She's been on television. She's quite articulate at making her case.
Zohran Mamdani is a complete and utter failure as mayor. And the fact that he films a video that is released everywhere demonizing the prime minister of the only Jewish state, and 2 days later we have a Jewish man and an Asian man, because it never ends with the Jews, stabbed in the street as the attacker yells Allah Akbar. So this is not a coincidence. This is what globalizing the Intifada looks like, a phrase that Zohran Mamdani still has yet to condemn. If I'm a voter, I don't care about a democratically elected leader across the world. I want you to focus on what you need to do in the city: affordability, schools, housing, all the things that he is failing to do because he is obsessed with condemning Israel.
And this woman here calling for the actual arrest of New York City Mayor Mamdani.
Stay forever strong, and I will be here, and I will protest every time that I need to be here. I will be here strongly, and I'm strong to support Israel and be there for America and Israel, for the freedom and for the sake of freedom and life and music and precious children and peace. That's what we stand for, not for terrorism. You got it? And you, Mamdani, you should be arrested. You and your disgraceful, ugly wife.
One of the speakers at today's protest put forth by the group End Jew Hate. 800-848-9222. This woman interviewed on television.
I have in my hand some of the literature that's being handed out here. As you can see, this www.firemamdani.com. So the anger, the vitriol at the mayor is very palpable here right now. I do want to bring into the conversation someone who felt the need to come out today. I want to speak with you, ma'am. Why do you feel like you need to be here today?
I feel like we have to stand up for the United States of America, and I don't want it to get so far gone that we're like, why was I silent? We can't be silent. This man is a danger. He is a charismatic man. We got to give him that. And he's appealing to people that are not naturally born Americans, people that don't really have a connection to this country. I think Jewish people are part of the fabric of our country. I'm Catholic, and I believe that our country is first and foremost in everything we do.
And so throughout the course of the next close to 2 hours, we will let you hear what some of the protesters had to say. And in a moment, Mayor Mamdani was also asked today for his reaction and whether or not he's fanning the flames. You'll hear what he has to say. But let's take a couple of telephone calls, 800-848-9222. Let's go to Al in Crown Heights, line 1. Al, what's on your mind?
Yes, are you aware that a large portion of Jews voted for Mamdani?
Okay, so Al, we got to be factually correct. Some Jews voted for Mamdani, but not a large part. What's the point you're trying to make?
In Brooklyn, Crown Heights, a large section.
Okay. So now you're specifying. Okay. So what is the point?
Yeah,
I mean, I know what you're trying to say. Well, I know where you're trying to go because you're always hating on somebody. What's the point you're trying? Okay. Well, then just tell me, Al. I'm not going to argue with you. What is the point that you're trying to make? Get to the point.
The point I'm making is that if it wasn't the Jews that voted him in.
That's not true. You had some. That's a ridiculous statement. Is there anything else you want to say, Al, before I move on?
No.
Okay, thank you for the call, Al. Let's go to Norman in Brooklyn, line 2. Norman, good evening. I hope your health continues to improve. Your voice sounds like it. What's on your mind?
Okay, Al is an ignorant little pig, okay? They have a lot of people who call up and say...
Seriously,
they
Norman.
call up and they say
I wanted to say
that.
it, but I'm trying to be nice, so I didn't say it. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes, there were Jews. They're infected. You know, just like you have African Americans who are infected, you know, by the socialism, by the whatever, the free. You have, unfortunately, a lot of my people are still wandering in the desert, like they did when Moses brought them to Canaan. Okay, when took them out of Egypt. Okay, number one. Number two. Unfortunately, I would say New York is a lost cause. Listen, I've taken part in that particular rally and this particular rally until Whitey, which is the young 20-something-year-olds, okay, until the Whitey gets on board with this crap, okay, and working class Italians in Staten Island are not Whitey, okay, until Whitey, okay, gets on board with, you know, opposing Mamdani, we are effed, okay, I'll just use the first word. We are totally screwed, and basically either we leave or we're heading towards a concentration camp. I mean, this is basically my opinion. It's that extreme. Wow. Either we leave or they're going to kill us, okay? And they love to kill us because they, you know, first of all, Whitey doesn't recognize that I'm not Whitey, okay? I've never been Whitey, okay? In the history of America, in the history of the world, I am not Whitey. Okay, and unfortunately, a lot of African Americans fail to see the affinity between your people and my people, and that's also an impediment. So that's basically what I have to tell you, Dom.
Okay, so how does this all play out, Norman?
It doesn't play out well. It plays out, okay, either something tragic happens to Mamdani, which a lot of people would not like that, but I personally wouldn't mind it. Unless something tragic happens, unless Whitey starts to feel it, changes their mind, okay? We're on a, you know, we're on a highway to hell, as you know, AC/DC said. So that's basically, yeah. I don't see. Listen, I'm here in Brooklyn. I'm thinking, you know, eventually escape plan. I don't know how the hell, you know. Right now I'm dealing with this.
You're Norman, who loves Brooklyn and loves living in a diverse neighborhood. You're talking about a potential escape plan?
Unfortunately, the Caribbean community in my neighborhood are basically like little mice. They don't protest. They go along with everything. Okay. Listen, we've had. Have they stood up for Hakeem Jeffries? I mean, that's my congressman. Have they stood up for him? Listen, Hakeem Jeffries sucks, but you know, he ain't Mamdani. He never was Mamdani. Just a career politician. But they don't stand up for him. Would Norman leave? Yes, of course Norman would leave. Listen, I can't look. I'm having a liver issue now. It's being repaired. I'm going to survive this. They tell me it would be 3 or 4 months. I have a lot of hard time working, you know, walking and getting around and all that stuff. But you know, I do what I got to do. You know, I put one shaky foot in front of the other, and I just keep going forward. But,
well, that's the type of person you are.
Yes, that's the type of person that I am. And
no, I mean that in the most. affinity way, the most positive way that one can think, that you're not a quitter and you're going to keep going. That's what I mean.
I'm going to keep going until somebody kills me, okay? That's it. I'm going to keep going until somebody kills me. But, I see the morons on the Upper West Side where I used to work. They're oblivious to the fact that they're being stabbed, okay? There's been lots of stabbings going on all over the city and shootings. And they're oblivious to this. They're like, oh, no. This is just a normal situation. It's not a normal situation. People are being stabbed. They're falling down on the street. They're bleeding in front of their loved ones. This is not a normal situation, man. And, and as far as, I just wish I can't educate your audience on Jews, okay? But like I said, I have my misgivings with a lot of them also. But I don't consider them Jewish, right? I absolutely don't consider them Jewish. I mean, I consider them, I don't know, lost souls. Who've been...
Fair enough, Norman. We got a lot of lost souls in many different communities. Thank you for the great call, Norman. We see your other calls, folks, 800-848-9222. Mamdani asked about all this controversy that he's causing, and he seems to be oblivious to the entire situation as he responded today.
To Jewish New Yorkers who feel you're fueling anti-Semitism?
I would say first and foremost is there's no tolerance for anti-Semitism in this city. We have to root out anti-Semitism from across the 5 boroughs, and that's because this is a city that is one that has no room for hate or bigotry of any kind. And when we make criticisms of a nation state or policies, we have to remember that those are criticisms of exactly that. Never of a people, never of a faith.
Do you feel the video may have contributed at all to the attack that happened on Thursday, as some New Yorkers feel that fan the flames?
I think when it comes to the horrific stabbings on the Upper West Side, my thoughts first and foremost are with both the Asian New Yorker and the Jewish New Yorker who were stabbed. I'm thankful that they are in a stable condition, and I'm wishing them a full and speedy recovery. And I'm also thankful to the NYPD for their quick and swift response to both apprehending the alleged perpetrator, Raul Morales, and now I've seen the charges that have been levied against him of attempted murder and a hate crime, and I'm hopeful that he will be prosecuted for the full extent of the law.
So, yes, the suspect is being charged also with hate crimes. But notice, Mamdani did a lot of talking, saying absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's funny because when it's time for him to spew his hate, his tongue is not tied then. He's very direct, very clear with his message. But when it comes time to unify the city, all you hear is a bunch of whatever the case may be, but it's not very crystal clear. Let's go to Mo, line 1 in Brooklyn. Good evening, Mo. What's on your mind?
Good evening. I thought that the caller before from Crown Heights that said that Jews voted for Mamdani, I think in a way he's correct. I think that a lot of Jews voted for him hoping to get some compassion for him, meaning knowing that he would win anyway, since it was a very tight race and Curtis Lew wasn't look like he was dropping out. So they voted for him.
Well, he said, Mo, he said a majority of Jews, and that's not true, voted for Mamdani.
I don't know about majority. I think there's definitely was a percentage of Jews that did vote for him.
Right. Okay. So now they have buyer's remorse, right? Like everybody else.
Correct.
Fair enough, Mo. Thank you for the telephone call. Dominic Carter here with you folks. We have plenty of time to chat with each other over the course of the next hour and a half. We're going to take a break, and we are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
We have video of Raul Morales being walked out of the 20th precinct just a few moments ago. And again, police announcing that hate crime charges are being filed against Raul. Authorities say he ambushed 2 men in 2 separate attacks on the Upper West Side. One of the victims Jewish, the other Asian. We will stay on top of this story and bring you updates on ABC 7 NY as soon as they come in.
And so that from Channel 7 over what happened last week and resulted in a news conference with about 60 to 80 Jewish leaders, predominantly Jewish leaders, denouncing Mayor Mamdani and speaking out. Among those present at that news conference happened to be the City Council Speaker, Julie Menin.
It's unacceptable. We cannot normalize what is happening in our city. We have to bring the temperature down. We have to change the rhetoric. Words matter, and we all have a responsibility to bring that temperature down. So I'm here in solidarity with the Asian community, who I know is in pain. I'm here in solidarity with our Jewish community, who is experiencing intolerable pain. I know that as a daughter and granddaughter of Holocaust survivors, we know that what is happening right now to our community cannot continue. This just has to stop.
Interesting. It sounds like even the City Council Speaker, Julie Menin, is turning on Mamdani, and she has to have a working relationship with him. Former Mayor Eric Adams also speaking out. We'll get to that a bit later. But a little bit before I go back to your telephone calls of one of the other stories that we're following, the innocent 12-year-old son, this is horrifying, of a retired NYPD sergeant shot dead in the Bronx. Heartbreaking video shows him collapsing in a bodega after running back in while clutching his chest again. An innocent bystander, a stray bullet hit him in the chest during a fight outside the store on Elliott Place near the Grand Concourse. This was shortly before 5 p.m. Saturday. His dad, was a sergeant for the NYPD and the Bronx, and this is what Mayor Mamdani had to say about that.
It is a top priority for us to get more guns off of our streets. We know the NYPD has been doing incredible work over these last 6 months. They've gotten more than 2,000 guns off the streets thus far, but that work can never stop. That work can never be over because our hearts are broken right now. We're only a few blocks away from Elliott Place, which is where Jacob Freitas was killed, a 12-year-old boy killed just sitting on a bike outside of a bodega. And that is unacceptable in this city. Every child in the summer and any time of year should be able to bike around their neighborhood and never have to worry for their safety. And so right now our thoughts are with the family. I know that it's a top priority for our NYPD and our administration to find out who is accountable for this horrific act of violence. But beyond that, how to ensure that we never become numb to this kind of a pain.
And so maybe, Mayor Mamdani, if you were not focusing on international affairs, which you have absolutely no role in, maybe if you were not dividing New York by focusing on Netanyahu, maybe you could spend a little more time dealing with gun violence in the city and crime. How about that, Mayor Mamdani? Oh, that doesn't get you the headlines that you want. That requires too much work. You can't talk out of both sides of your mouth, Mamdani. We see your telephone calls, folks. We're going to get to them. One of the other big stories that we're covering, Friday night, President Trump kept his word and showed up at the White House Correspondents Dinner. Trump did pretty good. The president was himself. Man, you got some haters amongst my industry, the Fourth Estate, the Trump derangement syndrome. They seem lukewarm to the president. Here was part of his opening remark.
Wow, that was very beautiful, but this has not been an easy evening, all these awards. Do I have a say in those awards, all those awards? But it's great to be back at a place that I know very well because I built it. And I'm very proud of it because I built it for $2.9 billion less than the Federal Reserve building, which is a lot smaller, by the way. Figure that one out. But I am delighted to be here at the White House Correspondents Dinner. Amazing people, a lot of people that I like. Some I don't like it all. But I respect most of them. I must say that. You do a great job, amazing job, and it's an honor. As I said 3 months ago, the show must go on. We were back We were backstage, and we both wanted to just have it go on, whether it was 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, it didn't matter. But in the end, it made more sense to do it the way we're doing it. And we had a great news conference at the White House, in a very important room. And you did very well. I think we all did very well. It was a hell of an evening, I can tell you that. Won't soon be forgotten. And I think a lot was learned from that evening. A tremendous amount was learned about security and about other things, the dangers of what we all do. But just like my presidency, the second time is always better. It's always better. And the third time will be better yet. I'm only kidding.
The president joking there, pretty good. Decent response there, but man, you got to let go of that Trump derangement syndrome. Mayor Adams appearing on the Fox News channel, we'll get to that in a little bit, denouncing Mamdani. Let's go back to some of your telephone calls. Let's go to line 3. Joe, Trenton, New Jersey. What's on your mind, Joe?
Yeah, hey, Dominic, when I was listening to Norm a little while ago, it really, I get fired up by it because he's 100% right. Ever since the Black Lives Matter riots, I've been noticing, you look at some of these, and you're going to call me a sexist again, some of the females in some of these protests or these riots, you look into their eyes, it's just like there's a nowhere look into the eye. That's how crazed these people are and believe in the nonsense that's being spread around this country. We've got, as voters, got to do a better job.
Wait, Joe. So that's only female protest. You really are sexist. That's only female. That's only female protesters.
Well,
Joe?
You know what, Dominic?
Joe. Focus on what I'm saying. That's only female protesters. It's not men protesters as well.
No, you're right there.
You can't see that. Wait.
Yeah,
you can't see that and looking in man. Joe, I'm going to let you speak if you stop cutting me off. You don't see that in men's eyes. You only see that in women's eyes. Do you even realize what you're implying? Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
All right. The reason why I point out women because in most of the what I was watching, they were women that they were highlighting. That's what I. When you say
what you were watching, I don't know what point of reference you're making.
But Dominic, I keep interrupting you. I do that to everybody.
No, go ahead.
I apologize for that.
It's okay.
Okay, what I was noticing when they're in the face of the police officers, I mean, they're screaming and hollering, the spit coming out of their mouths, and the cussing.
So you mean these vile agitators? You're not talking about regular protesters. You're talking about these nuts trying to force the police to hit them so they can sue. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Joe. Thank you for the call. Let's go to Ina, line 2 in Manhattan. What's on your mind, Ina?
Hi, Dominic.
Hi.
What I want to focus on what you're saying about the election. An election win by people voting, not by a person.
That's not true, Ina.
No.
Elections, smart. Ina, wait a minute. No, Ina. You're very good at giving these long comments, and I don't have time for that, to be honest with you. I'm going to give you your say, but I don't have 5 minutes for you to make some story that doesn't make sense. Politicians, every election cycle, set up people to run against them just to divide the vote alone so it guarantees their win. So it's not done just by voting. There are various manipulation strategies that politicians use. Now go ahead, Ina.
Well, that's your perception. What I'm saying,
it's not my perception. I've been doing this for 40 years, Ina. You don't know what you're talking about, to be honest with you, but go ahead.
I know what I'm talking about.
Okay, get to the point. Get to the point.
In Richmond.
Get to the point.
I travel in Richmond Hill.
Ina, it's the last time I don't care. Ina, listen to me. Ina, listen to me. Ina, lower her mic. With respect, I don't care where you've lived. Get to the point. I don't need to hear a long story of where you have lived. What is the point that you're trying to make? Please illustrate that.
Why win? Curtis couldn't win. Even Staten Island didn't vote for Curtis. And Curtis was back in Staten Island when the big buses was there.
I don't know why you're bringing Ina, please don't talk over me. I'm trying not to talk over you. I don't know why you're bringing up Mr. Sliwa right now. What is the Ina? You're all over the place. This is why I started not to take your call. What is the point that you're trying to make?
Why you win?
Why, Ina? One more. The point is what? Ina.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Ina, what is the point you're trying to make?
No, you keep saying that because of Curtis,
Ina, every chance you get, you defend Mr. Sliwa.
Curtis could never win.
Okay, you're missing Ina, do you understand the point? Ina, you don't understand. Do you even know what I'm talking about? Mr. Sliwa took votes, 7%, right? That 7% would have made the race within 2%. Then you give Cuomo momentum. Cuomo would have won. I don't want to argue or keep going over this with you, Ina, because you don't have the experience to back up what you're saying. Is there anything else you want to say besides telling me where you've lived at?
Another thing again. What you keep saying? People vote for him. A lot of people.
Wait, Ina.
What you should do?
Ina, stop. Lower her mic again. And this is the last time I'm going to say this. You said people vote for him. I don't know who him is, and I don't need you to tell me what to do, Ina. You're not John Katsimatidis. You're not Margot Katsimatidis. You're not Chad Lopez. I don't need you to tell me what to do. Okay, you said vote for him. Who is him?
Can you get me somebody's money?
Can I get somebody's money? What? Okay, I've had enough. Thank you, Ina. I'm sorry. With respect, meet Mr. Click. Let's go to line 1, Mark in Kentucky. Mark, what's on your mind?
I got to follow that. I can't believe it. How you been, buddy? Let me tell you something.
I'm good.
I'm doing well.
Good.
This Mamdani is a sick person. His wife is sick, and the guy that put him in mayor is a sick person too. I've had enough people complain. I listen to this radio station all the time. I love this radio station, and I love you, Dominic.
Thank you.
And let
Love
me
is
tell you
mutual.
something.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. But the bottom line is, don't vote for somebody you don't want to vote for. And this person manufactured that vote to get Mamdani in presidency. Whether they got money, whatever got anything. This is sick to my bones. And I feel sorry for you guys. I live in a great state of Kentucky. I got a governor that is a Democrat, but he's not as bad as Montgomery. And this guy is going to pull forward. He's going to become a senator. As you could speak, it's going to happen. And if I could say one more thing, thank God I love this country. God bless the United States, and God bless New York.
Thank you for the call, Mark. In regards, go out to your wife. Thank you so much for the call. 800-848-9222. New York City former Mayor Eric Adams appearing on Fox News discussing the Mamdani situation.
We must turn down the noise. We have to stop this rhetoric, because what people don't realize what radicalization is about. It is not rational people looking at information and debating. It is people who are dealing with a lot of emotional trauma, psychological trauma, and have a lot of hate. And so when you have the DSA and this anti-Israel rant. People don't equate the anti-Israel with anti-Jewish. They see my Hasidic community, which is identifiable as Jewish. They go to a synagogue. They target these areas. And so what the mayor and his cohorts should be doing is, first of all, running the city, dealing with the crises, like 12 blocks of homelessness, and not talking about what you're going to do in an international setting with Netanyahu. That adds to what I believe is what we saw in the last few days.
It's such a great point.
Our focus was clear. People who are dealing with severe mental health issues, homelessness, street encampments, we were not going to allow our city to mimic what other cities look like. The Intrepid is one of our top tourist locations. When you have 12 blocks of homeless people defecating on the streets, using drugs, dealing with mental health issues, that's a poisonous, toxic area. That's where our focus should be. Our focus should not be on I'm going to incarcerate when you know you cannot incarcerate.
Right, it's nothing to do with that.
We saw what happened after October 7th and the terminologies that were being used. What he should be calling for is a level of tolerance and a level of peace, and find ways of bringing each other together and have conversations around these issues. Calling for people to take to the streets. I remember what take to the streets looked like after October 7th. I saw the swastikas. I saw some of the terminologies on our college campuses. I don't want to see that again in our city. You should not have to take off your Star of David when you get on the subway station. Right. You should not have to worry about walking into a synagogue, a house of worship. We fought against protests in front of those locations. No group should have to live through this in their city. And there should be no room for hate. And that terminology should be coming from City Hall in a very clear message. You cannot vacillate and be unclear. The message must be clear. Jewish residents have a right to live in a city that they're very much a part of.
Former Mayor Eric Adams on Fox News. Time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And back to the phones we go. Line 1, Shane in Middletown, New Jersey. Good evening, Shane. What's on your mind?
Good evening, Mr. Carter. It's a pleasure talking to you. I'll be quick.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say that, I hear a lot of anti-Mamdani. I'm not pro-Mamdani at all because I don't even live in New York City. But I hear a lot of anti-Mamdani. And I would submit to you that he resonated with the voters of New York City, the majority of voters, the popular vote, because they have a popular vote. You win by majority in New York City, unless I'm mistaken. So
right, no, you're correct in everything you said, Shane. I'm gonna let you finish your say, but you have to remember turnout was very low. It's not like he won a mandate from the people. Turnout was very low, and the deck was stacked with another candidate in the race. But go ahead.
And I don't disagree with you. And I hear what you're saying without mentioning everybody's name. I know the vote was split, and I get it, and I understand the percentage, and I agree with you 100%. But he still won. His message was, unfortunately, anti-Semitic. Unfortunately, a lot of free things that so far, to my understanding, has not been produced by him. But whatever he said resonated with those voters, and he was able to be elected to, not the highest office, but the mayor of New York with a tremendous budget, tremendous responsibility. I just hope he does something special for New Yorkers. Not focus on national events, but on his what he needs to focus on. Garbage collection, snow removal, stuff like that.
Shane, you make a whole lot of sense. You make a whole lot of common sense. Thank you for the great call. I hope to hear from you in the very near future. Thank you, Shane, for that call. Another story I was looking at, I don't know if you folks noticed, and I'll have more on this in about 30 minutes. And I'm going to be talking to Matt Blaze as well about the Jewish issue, the WNBA, and so on. And Saturday night was the All-Star game for the women, the WNBA. And I thought it was great that all the heat that Caitlin Clark takes, right? And let's cut through it. Let's be real. She takes the heat because she's white. I thought it was great that Obama singled her out in a practice and went up to her. Now, it's a little muffled, but this is what the former President Obama had to say to Caitlin Clark.
Oh, hey, Caitlin, how are you? Really nice to meet you. You're great. You're fantastic.
Thank you.
Don't let all this nonsense get you down.
Crazy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you know, I always say one of the things that was luckiest for me was I didn't get famous till I was like 45. So I was an old man. I mean, you're my daughter's age. And not to have that much, you know, burden and nonsense. So don't lose that joy. The game's like the game. And you're a hooper. And you
I try, sometimes.
You know, no, you always hoop. And you're on a nice little run right now.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
You mind if I get a picture?
Yeah, come on.
Ready?
Come on.
So cute. Wait, guys, get in with me too.
Come on.
Nice to meet you.
Come on.
Now, you see the class. Obama and the sisters were not happy. Obama, the players, singled out Caitlin Clark, went up to her, and was going to take a picture with Caitlin Clark, because Caitlin Clark is the star. Did you catch at the end that the black women that were standing around her, the players, she said, come on in, join the photo. It takes a class act to do something like that. At a news conference a short time later, this is what Caitlin Clark had to say after meeting Obama.
Yeah, it was obviously super cool. We're confused why the one speech was going so long, but I think she was trying to like give him some time to get here. So we were all like a little confused, but then he walked through the door, which was super cool and awesome. And honestly, he just complimented me for the way I handle everything, obviously with everything going on. And he's somebody that's been in front of the media quite a bit. And he reminded me, he's like, you know, when I got famous in my 40s, like I didn't have to do it in my 20s. And, you know, sometimes I think people don't always realize, like, I'm 24 years old and I'm trying to navigate a lot of different things while trying to play basketball at the same time. So, it was cool to hear that from him. And I think, honestly, it's probably a good reminder for all of us of, you know, treating people with respect, treating people with grace, and, definitely a moment I'll probably remember for the rest of my life. My hands don't get usually pretty sweaty and clammy for certain things, but it did for that.
So, Matt Blaze, with your Coca-Cola T-shirt on, was that a win-win? It seems like a win-win to me.
I think so, absolutely. Just to have, you know, a former president come up to you and say, hey, look, you're handling this stuff great. You know, like he said, I didn't get famous till I was 45. You're my daughter's age, and you're handling all this stuff. Don't let it get to you. And for someone to realize, or for him to realize and say to her, listen, don't let it get you. I know you're young, and I know what I had to go through at 45, and can imagine having to go through that at 24 or in my 20s. That says something.
And you know what, Matt Blaze, and I left out the part on your T-shirt. It says, enjoy Coca-Cola. It's not a single wrinkle in your T-shirt. I'm jealous. There should be at least 20 wrinkles so I can feel that we're even when I wear a T-shirt. But, you know, and when Obama said that, I had to stop and think twice that this young lady is, 23, 24 years old.
Yeah, she says, I'm 24 and having to do what she has been dealing with. And we never think about that. We never think about, because you think about even WNBA, NBA, MLB, NFL, you think about these players, they're kids. They're 22, 23. They become instant millionaires when they get drafted. And think about all the pressure they now have. They're under a microscope. They have to play well. It's not just the coaches, but it's all the fans and all the hype that surrounds them. And that's why a lot of these players end up being a bust, because they just, mentally, it's just tough to have to deal with all of that. And look what she's been dealing with in the
And you're
past
correct. When you think about it, you know, you got to travel to another city. You got to suit up. You got to get taped for the game. And when you're Caitlin Clark, you're expected to be a star every single night. Anything less, the fans feel that you let them down. So you're correct, Matt Blaze. Final word.
they don't look at you like a person. They don't realize that this is a 24-year-old young lady who's just starting in life, and you are yelling at her because she didn't score or she missed a 3-pointer or missed a foul shot. I mean, she's only 24 years old.
Correct. Thank you, Mr. Enjoy Coca-Cola. It is time for a break. Hour number 1 is done. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
Folks, in Madison, Wisconsin, a state I've been to, a city I've been to many times, the inmates are running the asylum. Wait until I tell you what happened in Madison. It's unbelievable. Dominic Carter here with you. The number to reach us this hour, 800-848-9222. We're going to deal with that, plus the pressure continuing to build against New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani, and something has to give. Remove Mamdani. That was the chant hours ago as the group In Jew Hate held a major protest against the mayor. And more 9/11 families are speaking out, saying they do not want Mamdani. They want him to stay away from the 25th anniversary commemoration coming up of 9/11. We'll have that plus more violence on Mamdani's watch. The innocent 12-year-old son of a retired NYPD sergeant shot and killed in the Bronx, the victim of a stray bullet. 800-848-9222. So a number of you are kind enough to tell me that I should run for public office, that I should get into politics. This is one of the reasons why I don't. One of the reasons why I could never get into politics. Ever. Madison, Wisconsin. The inmates running the asylum. So Thursday, there was a news conference about the police shooting of a homeless man in Madison, in which apparently the man had a knife and, homeless, and he was shot and killed. Police say he resisted arrest and injured an officer with the knife, right? So police are holding a news conference that the mayor, she herself spoke at later. I don't know if she was at the news conference when this happened. But this is why I can't go into politics. I swear to you, someone would have been fired right after I walked out of this press conference as mayor. So the police chief, they're so busy, and I guess it's the right thing to do, bending over backwards to please the community. They're bending over backwards to please the community. Some people can't be pleased. Don't you know that by now? Some people can never be pleased. They want to complain. You look at their lives, their life is a disaster, nothing going on, and all they want to do is complain nonstop. So the police chief himself is standing up there briefing the community about this police shooting. And I guess he's trying to do the community thing and so on. But with some of these savages, you just can't be nice, okay? I want you to listen. The police chief is standing there. Now, there are some members of the community in attendance. Why they're there, I'll never know. Maybe full transparency, but I thought news conferences were for news reporters. But you got members of the community there. The moment the police chief starts talking, this nut takes over his news conference, goes up to the podium, starts arguing with another attendee at the news conference, puts his hands on the podium like he's the police commissioner, and the police commissioner, looking sheepishly, just stands by the side. And I guess Black Lives Matter. He's white. Folks, I kid you not. With the media there, I would have hit the button for my riot team to come in, and the media would have saw how Mayor Carter deals with protesters like this. Listen to this nut interfering with the police commissioner's news conference.
All power to all people, zero power to Zionists, zero power to capitalists, zero power to colonialism.
The thinness of trust in the city right now did not start.
No, we can shut this down. You can stop talking because we don't want to hear anything you've been saying. You're going to say the same thing you all say every time a black body gets shot down in this city. This is a corrupt city. That's right. Have no fear. The anti-Zionist is here. You understand me? You won't be able to talk today because I'm going to keep talking because I was born to talk my talk and walk my walk too. I told these young people back here on our way here that we have the power, not that badge, not that weapon. We have the power. The city of Madison is corrupt. From the DA to the what's the name of this? The Department of Independent Monitoring. We don't want any of that talk. You've given us this speech with you'll deliver justice. Oh, we've seen the cameras. We've seen. It was a knife in this young man's hand. We don't want to hear that today. We didn't want to hear it when they put their neck on George Floyd's neck. We don't their foot on George Floyd's neck, and we don't want to hear it today. What do you have to say about that? No. Oh, you don't get to talk, I said. Right. Go ahead. Enough is enough.
I'll step aside.
That's right. Give me this microphone then. Excuse me. That's right. My name is Carlos Dixon. I represent APTAP, all power to all people, zero power to Zionists, zero power to capitalists, zero power to colonialism. What you are doing right now in this city is continuing.
Okay. You're drinking your Diet Coke. I swear to you, Matt Blaze, before I get into Netanyahu and Mamdani, I swear to you, he would have been arrested on the spot. Why was this man interrupting the police? Don't laugh. Interrupting the police commissioner's news conference. Why was he not arrested on the spot?
It's so ridiculous. It sounded, I'm laughing because it's like a Saturday Night Live skit. Like, right. This guy just coming in and he's like, I'm not doing this. Wait, what's the name of that? What's the name of that? He doesn't even know what he's talking about. And he's just yelling. At all. And then he comes over to the microphone and they just let him keep talking. How could you let somebody just take over a police news conference? He should have been arrested in 2 seconds. As soon as he went up there, he should have been arrested. This is
Black
crazy.
Lives Matter. You asked how it could happen. Black Lives Matter.
And he's so
These white police commanders are so afraid of being called a racist. Not only would he have been arrested, if he wasn't body slammed to the floor, somebody would have been fired in my administration. Yeah. And this coming from a black mayor.
You don't know what this guy has on him. You don't know who this person is.
He walks right up to the police chief.
He could have knifed the police chief or somebody else around. You have no idea who this person is. Just up there screaming and yelling. He should have been taken down, tackled, cuffed, and brought to jail immediately.
Amen. Thank you, Matt Blaze. So I just had to mention that because the inmates are running the asylum in Madison, Wisconsin. I get it. Black Lives Matter. You don't want to be called a racist, but I'll be darned if that would have happened on my watch. He would have been arrested, thrown to the floor, and roughed up in public and in private. I guarantee you this, he wouldn't have did it again. Plain and simple. Okay, let's get to the mayor, the socialist mayor of New York City. A lot going on these days. An Asian man, a Jewish man stabbed by a man, mentally ill, apparently. He's now being charged with hate crimes, and Jewish leaders came forward to denounce the leadership of this mayor, claiming that the mayor is fanning the flames of hatred. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu appeared on Fox News, also claiming the same.
Mamdani is supporting his wife, his family. He celebrated October 7th massacre, the worst massacre against Jews since the Holocaust. He's basically supporting, he tries to say that he doesn't, but he's supporting the Hamas murderers who raped our women, then beheaded them, burnt babies alive, slaughtered our men, took innocent people hostages, 251 men, women, children, babies. That's who he's supporting. And they're the ones who are responsible for genocide. They would have killed, as their charter says, and as they themselves proclaimed, they would have killed every single Jew in Israel and every Jew in the world. So the genocide charge belongs to our enemies. What we're doing is try to fight this genocidal terrorist organization that embeds itself among civilians, prevents us from moving the civilians out of harm's way. They use gunpoint. That's where the real criminals are. But Mamdani is aligning himself with the criminals, with these murderers. But the worst thing is that he's tormenting his own citizens, his own voters. No, that is wrong. And I've been to New York so many times, Maria, over the years. I've met all the New York mayors. They all saw themselves as mayors of all New Yorkers, not pitting one part of the population against the other.
Big news conference held Sunday, or rather I should say protest against Mamdani by the group In Jew Hatred. And what's going on in New York is incredible, and not in a good way. A mayor that's actually dividing people. That's the bottom line. One of the organizers from the protest today was interviewed on television.
Jane Circle, thanks so much for being with us. What do you make of turnout today? What does that say about this issue here in New York?
Well, here at End Jew Hatred, we just have this radical belief that American leaders should love the United States of America. And you can tell that the New York people are just sick of the rhetoric that Zohran Mamdani is spewing. He is spewing hate. He is spewing division. And that's not what we stand for. It's not what anybody stands for who came out here today. We're here today because an Asian New Yorker was attacked, a Jewish New Yorker was attacked. And when radical Islam comes for Western civilization, it does not differentiate if you are Christian or Buddhist or Muslim or Jewish. They are here to conquer. Radical Islam is a threat, and Zohran Mamdani is spreading that ideology through his rhetoric. You cannot separate his attacks of the Jewish state from the attacks that we're seeing on the Jewish people here in New York City. I think it would be better if the governor came down, because she actually has the power to remove Mamdani, so I would like to see her down here to remove Zohran Mamdani. He has to go. He does not represent New Yorkers. He is not serving New York City. He is serving foreign interests. He is serving his own political agenda of Jewish hatred, hatred of the Jewish state, and really hatred of anyone who loves the United States of America. We're tired of seeing these disgusting propaganda videos that he's putting out every other week with just attacks on the communities that he's supposed to serve, and enough is enough.
And enough is enough. The honorable thing to do for this mayor to fix this situation is to resign. But Mamdani, I guess 9.5 out of 10 politicians would never do that. The only recourse in this situation is the governor of the state of New York, Kathy Hochul, to remove him from office. But she will never do that because she is up in an election year. 800-848-9222. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
Today, it was announced LeBron James has decided that he wants his next team to be the 76ers. Where do you stand on LeBron versus Michael Jordan as the best ever?
Well, Michael Jordan's a guy that's a friend of mine. Play golf with him. He's a really good guy. And I think LeBron is... Maybe he's a racist, but maybe he doesn't like Trump. I don't know. But I only like people that like me. So I would say Michael Jordan all the way.
President Trump at the Oval Office asking about the LeBron going to the Philadelphia 76ers, saying LeBron is perhaps a racist or just doesn't like Trump. He says his guy all the way is Michael Jordan. Dominic Carter here with you. The president also appeared at the White House Correspondents Dinner Friday night. We'll get to that in just a bit. Let's go back to some of your telephone calls. 800-848-9222. Let's go to Charlie. Line 1, Bensonhurst. Good morning, Charlie. What's on your mind?
Good morning, Dominic. I just want to make a point, all right? The point is this. I'm Italian, and I come from Bensonhurst, all right? When I heard him attacking Bibi like that, all right, and the Jewish people, the Italians are very upset with this mayor. Very, okay? And I feel for the Jewish people because he makes it known, okay? I grew up with Jewish people. The best friends I had were Jewish, okay? It was a mixed neighborhood in the 60s and 70s. I never seen anything like this, okay? I just can't even believe it's the same city. And I'm very upset, and I'm Catholic, all right? Thank you.
Right. So you're upset, Charlie, just like a lot of residents of the city are upset. And then you have those that are delusional, and they're like, what? What problem? Mamdani is great. Well, tell us one thing he's delivered on.
There's a lot of ignorant people, Dominic, you know, that voted for him. They ignorant of the facts.
Tell me about it. Tell me, and thank you, Charlie, for the call. I mentioned President Trump, folks, at the White House Correspondents Dinner. It was interesting, and he gives them credit often. The president talking about the Secret Service, giving the Secret Service credit for keeping him and everyone else safe that night, the first time the dinner was scheduled.
I want to begin by expressing our gratitude to the incredible men and women who put their lives on the line every day to protect my family and myself, all presidents, and lots of others. That's the United States Secret Service, so I appreciate it very much. And Sean and the whole group, amazing job. Amazing job. In recent months, they've repeatedly responded to threats with speed and professionalism and extraordinary courage, and there is no better example of that than Officer Victor Gonzalez, who we just met. It was amazing. What he did was amazing. When the would-be assassin charged the checkpoint at speed, he was fast. You know, when you looked at that, you had to look at it about 10 times before you really saw what was going on. He was quick. Nasty. The gun made him nasty, actually. But Officer Gonzalez engaged the attacker without hesitation and took a bullet to the chest after his ballistic vest, fortunately, was on, saved his life, and Victor did not even want to go to the hospital for a checkup. We insisted, really, we wanted him to do it. We insisted, but he didn't want to go. So to Officer Gonzalez, Secret Service, Metropolitan Police, law enforcement generally, and even all of the military who surround us in the room tonight, we salute you and we thank you with all of our hearts. Thank you very much. Great job. Great job.
President Trump at the White House Correspondents Dinner. The number to reach us, 800-848-9222. We're coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And a lot to get to this half hour. Who knew that Pennsylvania Senator Democrat John Fetterman would be the voice of reason? Fetterman has been that way now for about a year. And lately, he's on this steady drumbeat, calling out his own party, as he should, because at the end of the day, this socialism thing has to come to an end.
So socialism, that should be the unacceptable view, in the Democratic Party. We all should be capitalists, and we should all agree that supporting Israel, but for me, calling them out, there's also been kind of like a double standard. People, whether it's Sanders or other people, they're allowed to criticize Democrats, and they can even create mass chaos, like in the Maine race and other thing. But when I call out the extreme ones, then that's when I get the criticism, and I get that. What's more controversial, like, why are you going on Fox? Or why are you going to support Israel? Like, that shouldn't be controversial. I'm going to have a conversation with anyone that's going to play it straight as you and Fox has. But now,
I appreciate that. Thank you. And let me ask you about that. You just brought up Israel, and we saw recently that a majority of the Democratic caucus voted to end billions of dollars of aid to Israel. You were not one of those votes to end the aid, of course. Do you anticipate kind of this anti-Israel wing of the party to continue to grow as we get closer to the midterm elections? Yeah. And do you think as well that the rise of these socialist-style candidates who are very openly anti-Israel is motivating this shift away from the Jewish state, or do you think that they are sort of the product of all of this?
Oh, that's been well underway. That's been well underway for a while. I mean, 2 years ago, I've said that actually it was July of 24. I was the only Democrat in my caucus that would interact and stand with the Prime Minister when he gave that joint address.
And again, the voice of reason for the Democrat Party. I don't know how Democrats think, how they can conceive that they're going to win any election with the platform that they're running on. From defending criminals to wanting open borders for the demand for Americans to pay for illegals while Americans go under, Americans suffer, senior citizens forced to eat cat food, and you want to have a platform giving health care to migrants. I don't think so. Dominic Carter here with you, 800-848-9222. And, of course, on the issue of Israel, America's greatest ally, and Democrats, for the most part, want to hate on Israel. It just makes no sense whatsoever. And when you talk about hating Israel and socialism, you have to talk about Mamdani. Protests held just hours ago in New York City against him by members of the Jewish community. Families, 9/11 families, don't want him at the 25th commemoration coming up in September. The families, the list requesting that he not be there, it's actually growing. What's going to happen? The mayor of the city of where the incident occurred, right? And think about this, folks. All of this really started when Mamdani insulted all of us and said that he was not going to march in the Israeli Day Parade. The mayor of New York City, and you want to offend the Jewish community. And that was the day, folks, that all of us should have considered ourselves Jewish. Just like when the black community needed other communities, the Jewish community was there historically for the black community, and Jews actually lost their lives for blacks to have equal opportunities and the right to vote. On television, also blasting Mamdani, happened to be Congressman Mike Lawler.
Mayor Mamdani is now saying that New York City lacks the legal authority to arrest Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, but he's calling on the federal government to do it instead.
It is clear that we do not have the independent legal authority to enforce this warrant. The federal government, however, does, and I call on them to join the ICC and execute this warrant. And I want to be equally clear. Benjamin Netanyahu is not welcome in New York City.
Now, I don't know that he ever really believed that he ever had the power or would have the power, but he's speaking to someone, apparently he thinks a large group of people that would like to see this happen, would like to see someone arrest Benjamin Netanyahu when he steps foot on American shores. Who is he talking to? What is his goal? And is it concerning?
First of all, he's a pathetic disgrace. And, frankly, what he's doing is stoking, political violence. He's stoking Jew hatred. And he completely contradicts himself. Remember, this is the same guy who called for Nicolas Maduro, the brutal dictator from Venezuela, to be released by the United States government, despite the fact that he was twice indicted by the Southern District of New York in violation of U.S. laws. Meanwhile, he's calling for the United States government to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu, subject to the ICC, something we're not even party to. The hypocrisy, the contradictions, the fact that he supports dictators, despots, and totalitarian regimes, but wants to call out a democratically elected ally of ours is shameful. We saw the anti-Semitic stabbing on the Upper West Side just 2 days ago with an individual yelling Allahu Akbar as he stabbed two individuals. It's outrageous that he is the mayor of New York City, especially as we approach the 25th anniversary of 9/11. He pals around with people who say America deserved 9/11. He just reveals himself more and more each day, and New York needs to wake up and vote him out in 2029.
Yeah.
So that's the situation, America, that New York, that we find ourselves in. And it impacts the country because you have many Mamdanis popping up all over the country and in Congress and in so on. And so I'm looking at Matt Blaze right now, and Matt Blaze, he thinks I'm crazy, folks. Let me just get off this topic for a second here. So, Matt Blaze, with your Enjoy Coca-Cola shirt on, before I get to my animal issue, because, before I get to my... Okay, wait a minute. I want to see if you will acknowledge that lately a lot of wild animals have been attacking people. Is that true, or am I nuts in that area as well?
Oh, it's absolutely true. It's true because, according to the animals, we are invading their wildlife. We are invading their space. So the more we move in to their space, they are going to be coming into our space, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So I want soundbite number 11 now, and I want to ask you this question. If you hear someone, Matt Blaze, yelling and screaming in the water, and you see a shark's fin, are you going to go in and try and help them? Don't laugh. What are you going to do?
If I see a shark fin.
Yes.
How big is the fin?
And a person yelling.
Oh, I help them.
You'd go in?
Yeah.
You'd go in the water?
Yeah, well, it depends how deep it is.
Let's assume that it's about 20 feet, you'd go in.
I don't know. I have to be in a tube. I'd have to be in a metal canoe. Something. And some padding and a helmet. I don't know if I can float with that. If they're talking about, like, what's the kid's name from Jaws when he was on the raft and
Right.
that was pretty gruesome.
Right.
But if somebody's like, the shark got my leg, and I was like, I better go try and help.
Well, I want you, Matt Blaze, to listen to this, for America to listen to this. Shark attack. These attacks, wild animals, are happening more and more.
Tonight, the violent shark attack caught on camera. A man spotted fighting for his life, blood in the water, and harrowing pleas for help. It happened at a naval facility in Panama City Monday morning.
Shark attack out at the Navy base.
Authorities say 2 staff members went for a swim in the nearby recreational marina when the shark struck, attacking one of the men, severely injuring both of his arms.
Have y'all got the person out of the water? No, the person I think is still in the water.
First responders rushing the man to a local hospital. A naval commander saying their actions were critical.
We continue to have the safety of all our personnel paramount in all of the operations that we do on board the base.
Look at it. Oh my gosh.
The attack comes during a string of similar shark sightings.
Oh my gosh.
From a nature trail in Brooklyn.
Wow, that's sick.
To a fisherman hooking a great white in Nantucket.
Yeah.
Tonight, authorities say that naval staff member in Florida is now recovering from surgery. Steve Patterson, NBC News.
So, Matt Blaze, don't laugh. I'm not going in the water.
Man,
I'll pass you a raft. I mean, a canoe stick or whatever.
I got to be honest. After I heard that guy screaming, I was like, I'm not going in that water. I'd be like, yo, swim faster. I'd be on the edge. Swim faster. Come on. He's gaining. Come on. Swim faster. He said he severely injured his arms. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm not going in that water. I gotta be honest.
No laughing matter. We're not making fun of this. But the woman that died, the alligator attack in Florida, she was in 3 feet of water, right? So she probably startled the alligator and was on top of it, right?
Yeah.
He bit off both of her arms and she died en route to the hospital, the alligator.
That is so gruesome and horrible. And a lot of especially with the sharks, what I've been hearing is because of drones. They're seeing sharks more, not because they were never there before, because now with the drones, you're actually being able to capture them. Because before, you couldn't tell.
Right.
You were people just in the water. Maybe you saw a fin, like you said, if they were by the shore. But now they're saying, they're seeing more and more sharks, say, 30, 40 feet from the shore. But they were always there. You just didn't see them before because there were no drones. And
So now I want to get to some of these phone calls, but I want you to tell me the truth. Am I cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? Because I have such a fear that I'm afraid to even go into shallow water in the ocean now.
I can't blame you for that. I mean, I would still go into the shallow water, but I can't blame anybody for being afraid when you hear something like that and you hear the guy screaming and you're seeing and hearing about all these different aqua attacks of alligators and sharks.
And bears.
Well, that's not in the water, but around.
Right.
Well, you live in the woods, Dominic. I mean,
right.
Yogi's going to be around no matter what. But when you see and hear all these things, how could you be blamed for saying, you know what? I think I'm going to stay on the beach today and never go back in the water.
But I'm not a beach guy. And so, it's just, I don't know. I just feel that the older I get, if I can't look down and see clear water, and even if you can see clear water, it doesn't mean it may be too late. But if I can't look down and see clear water, I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
I'm not doing it.
I was just thinking, when I used to go to Florida as a kid, we used to go to this beach, but it was like a lake. So, like, they had, I don't know if it was a reef or something there that protected this body of water from the ocean. So there was not, my mother liked it because there wasn't a lot of waves. Right. Because we were little kids. So that's, we never went into the ocean. So the times I haven't been to the ocean in years. But now, I don't know.
Well, you heard how that gentleman was screaming. You heard how he was screaming.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
But thank you, Mr. Enjoy Coca-Cola.
Have a Coke and a smile.
Have a Coke and a smile, right? So we see your telephone calls. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to go to them. 800-848-9222. Dominic Carter here with you. 800-848-9222.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And back to the phones we go. Line 2, Charlie in Rockland County. Charlie, good morning.
Good morning, Dominic. Thanks for taking my call. I heard you talking to Mr. Blaze about saving somebody who's 20 feet out getting bit by a shark.
Yes.
You're 20 feet out and you're just swimming. You're not surfing or anything like that. Sorry, you're done. Okay, before I get to you. And I used to be a lifeguard. Most shark attacks occur between 3 and 5 feet of water. So you're okay if you just go into the water up to your knees and sit down and let the waves crash over you. You'll be fine.
So wait, Charlie. So Charlie. So I'm not nuts to go up to my neck in water anymore.
You would be, unless there's a sandbar. There's nurse sharks. There's sand sharks that you could get bit by. I would say go in up to your knees and sit down and enjoy the waves.
Matt Blaze is dying laughing as he's playing the music in the background. Go ahead, Matt Blaze.
Just enjoy the waves, Dominic.
Yeah.
Just lay back. Let the water run underneath you and soothe your soul, Dominic.
So, Charlie, if you're in 20 feet of water and a shark attacks you, it's a wrap?
I was a lifeguard. By the time I got to you, you're 20 feet out, and I'm swimming through the waves. Yeah, you're done.
And you would go in if somebody's not facing a shark attack and you're the lifeguard?
I would have to, but like I said, most shark attacks happen in between 3 and 5 feet of water. Unless you're on a sandbar 20 feet out, which means it's about you're 20 feet away from the shore, but it's only 3 feet deep, And yeah, you can get bit there.
Oh, well, Charlie, thank you. I knew I wasn't cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Thank you, Charlie. Let's go to Vincent, line 1 in Brooklyn. Stop laughing, Matt Blaze. Vincent, what's on your mind this morning?
Good evening, Dominic. By Kathy Hochul not coming out every day and putting down Mayor Mamdani for his anti-Semitic statements and his anti-Semitic stance against Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel, she's guilty of tacit consent. And we know why she's doing that, because she's afraid Mamdani's going to turn on her, call out his troops, his shock troops, to vote against her, not necessarily for Bruce Blakeman, but not to show up at all and put her between a rock and a hard place. But by her not coming out and putting the kibosh on his trash mouth, she's guilty of tacit consent. The old saying goes, Dominic, either you're part of the solution or you're part of the problem. And
okay, but now, Vincent, what if she wins re-election? Then what?
I think we're in trouble.
I'm talking about from her point of view. Will it matter what Mamdani did as long as she's reelected?
It won't matter at all to her, because that's all she's looking to get. She's looking to get reelected, and we're all in trouble if she gets reelected. All of us, even you, Dom. You live in Rockland County. That's still part of New York State, and I don't know what'll happen to the city and state if she gets reelected again. Because now what she's doing to try and buy votes, she's throwing money. She's throwing money at all these programs left and right. A lot of them are nonsense, is like midnight basketball and everything. That doesn't do anything. Get real with the law enforcement and everything. Put the kibosh on this Jew hater and his wife, who's actually his beard. And I'll say that. She's his beard, because where he comes from, they would hang him from a cherry picker. And I ain't going to say anything.
I got you loud and clear, Vincent. Thank you for the call. I'm going to leave alone commenting on their marriage. I'm just going to say that New York City's first lady, she looks like Evil Eye. She just looks evil all the time. I'm back at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social, on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode, so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?